Hello everyone, Geeks here once again for another, is it a Constantiam tour or not? I will leave that up to you to decide. So, as the title suggested, this is a Krazy with a K way of showing off your builds while avoiding terrain exploits. And as you can see from behind me, it is an awful flat world behind me, and that is because these builds have been world edited from Constantiam world downloads into a creative world. And essentially that is the Krazy way of being able to show off your Constantiam builds without worrying about them being terrain exploited and being found. So that's pretty cool, I think. Now, this idea has come from Krazyeyzkilla, who is also Minehead, who plays quite regularly on the Constantiam server and is featured in some of my other videos as he has been a base mate. So I am very, very proud and honoured that he has allowed me to show off these builds. So let's get started. Now you'll see we have a path going along here and all the builds are all lined up in a row down the line there. He made all these pretty little custom trees with little books inside of them that I have read the books for each of the builds, so I can give you a little bit of background into the builds themselves. So there's a little bit of info. This is going to be a longish video because there's quite a few builds down this road for us to take a look at, and I want to take the time to really appreciate his builds. And this is an opportunity for you all to see the work that he has done, and he just even through this build here alone you can see he's quite amazing, and the work that he does just blows my mind. And I'm going to take the time that's needed to sort of go around and take a look at all of these builds. I won't go throughout the entire thing, but we will see as much of it as we can. So this is Krazy's first base build in October 2017. The shape of the build, in case you haven't noticed, is supposed to be a brain. Obviously you're going to get sneak peeks as we go along with other builds. So it is supposed to be a brain. You've got the brain stem sort of heading down the middle there, and these are supposed to be like neuron brain thingies and bits and pieces, and yeah, I'm sorry Krazy, I'm not good with sciencey biology stuff. And it looks really cool. You've got some really functional layers up here with the iron farm, villagers hiding inside of there. Really cool use of white concrete to make a really clean build which suits the brain look. We've got the guessing a sorter with the poppies heading on into the lava here. So all you have in here is the iron. Obviously, oh yep, no, even just while I've been here it's been producing. I don't know if there's a switch that you turn on to make it do the sorting of the two, or whether it only does it when it gets to a certain level. Maybe when it gets so full it will start to get rid of the poppies, not sure, but pretty cool overflow system that he's got going over there. And obviously this is the way that you could come up to this part of the build. And inside of here he's got quite a lot of farms. We've got some daylight sensors there to set off the redstone lamps. It's actually quite a oops. It's difficult for me to fall down everything, even when in creative mode. So he's got quite a few little ins and outs here. There's furnaces here, all his storage inside of here. It's a little bit tricky to navigate your way around here, especially when you've got clear glass on. It could be a bit of, plus this is a bit of a maze as you can see, but he's got all sorts of little bits and pieces of farms inside of here. Now I really am lost, and we're going to have a bit of fun getting back out of here. But you can see that he's got... Oh, I really am stuck. This is hilarious. You can see that he's got the pumpkin and melon farms up there. We also have the other farms over there. Let's just head on out of here so we can look at them from the outside. Get me out, get me out. You can see he's got his cactus farm there, the netherwort. More and more storage. It's a much easier way to see it from the outside. Here we've got the wheat farm, carrots, beetroot down there. So quite the extensive farm. It's also got the flower farm there with the... It's got roses in there, but you could put any too high plant down there. He's got the bone meal. Again, more daylight sensors to keep light going on your farms as needed, and even space for a nether portal in there as well. Very, very cool. See, we'll put more of it now. We've gone into daylight. I wanted to show it off at night because it's quite a cool looking build at night as well. Now all of this terrain is terraformed, so you can't really tell anything from the ground as well. While it comes from the world that it was in, it was all terraformed, so it's not original land that it is sitting on. But a very cool build indeed. So let's head on over to the next little tiny build, and this build is a cute little van, and it is a homage to an old Saturday. Before I finish, this was built at a group base called Lazarus City with Shaneska and PeekabooPepper. So here we have the little van, which is a homage to an old Saturday Night Live sketch from the 90s starring Chris Farley, who was a motivational speaker who lived in a van down by the river. And I did watch the video, and it's quite funny. You should Google it. So yeah, Google Chris Farley Saturday Night Live, and it's the Matt Foley skit. Very cute. It's got the grill and the headlights. Very cute. Even spare tire out the back. So on to the next building. This too is a Lazarus City build and is an observatory, as you can guess. This was a storage room, so observatory by Krazyeyzkilla. Free admission with Shul Corp member card. You can see 20 quadrillion miles at least on a good night. So inside of here he has signs with lots and lots of facts. Now unfortunately we don't seem to have anything in these item frames from the world edit, so they would have either been, I imagine, maps or books, which don't come across in the world edits, unfortunately. But yeah, you can see quite a cool system. I imagine the carpet on the top is to stop mob spawning. It's got a furnace array up here, and that's a glass floor. You can head on up there through here, and again just more and more storage. So that is the melon cubed banner there. Not sure that banner there, whether or not it is, maybe it's the Lazarus City banner. No doubt Krazy will tell me in the comments once he has seen the video. Now, yes, it is missing its telescope, but apparently Krazy was planning on this being a ender pearl launcher that would launch you into another building, but he couldn't quite get it to work, so he abandoned the idea at this point. Don't know if he plans on still doing some sort of telescope out there, but a pretty cool build with or without the telescope, and a neat way to store all your stuff. So this next one is a really cute build, and took me a while. When I first came up to it, it took me a while because I wandered up to it too close before I really saw it. So all I really saw as I was coming in was this little bit here, but it is an aquarium. This aquarium was built in mind that 1.13 would be coming to Constantiam, which of course unfortunately it hasn't, and therefore it is currently unfinished. The interior was going to be completed once 1.13 came out, so it's just sort of sitting there waiting in limbo, as I'm sure there are many other empty aquariums on Constantiam waiting for tropical fish. But I don't think that you can deny that Krazy has done an amazing job with this aquarium. It is gorgeous. The addition of the leaves as a sort of a vine effect looks really cool as well, with sort of a seaweedy style kelp draping over everything, and of course Krazy's custom trees. Hi Parrot. Aquarium by Krazy. Neat little entranceway. You can head on up the stairs even more. Foliage on the inside. Ooh, sponges. And you could have had your tropical fish swimming in the middle here. Really looking forward to 1.13. Well, I suppose we probably won't get 1.13, but the 1.13 additions when we eventually upgrade on Constantiam, so that this can get completed and we can show it off some more. That's a pretty colourful parrot. So over here, now I think this is really cute too. It's a burger. Now this build is, I think, also at Lazarus City. So these, I think the few along here are Lazarus City builds. He has kind of grouped them together for me to make life a little bit easier. Here you've got the drive-through, which you can drive around and place your order. So your order, here it is here. So you'd come in this way and place your order, stop off, and please sir, don't orphan my children. So you can get yourself some meat. He's even labelled them so you can order your number meal that you want. Now this diner is the burger shop. Kill Your Hunger. Now this is inspired by Grand Theft Auto. He was also considering building a Cluck and Bell, but he didn't quite think he could top how well he had done the burger shot, so he's still waiting on deciding whether or not he will or won't do it. But I'm sure that he can do an amazing job with it. Little cash registers, little drive-in through window where you get your order from. Even the way he's done the glass there looks really cool. And obviously you got your kitchen area here with your grill station. It's really quite cool. A very clever idea. Die with a smile on your face. Oh dear. Nice little gardeny area outside to eat outside as well. So really cool build. I love the little burger on top. Very cool. Very clever and inventive. And this is just a tree. But when I say it's just a tree, it's another one of Krazy's creative trees. And I love seeing his custom tree builds. He always seems to make them blend really well into the builds around it. And I'm really happy that he added one of his trees just as a standalone into this build. Very cool. We also get to see You've seen the custom trees there, and around the other builds he's also got custom trees. So they are all around all his builds, but it's just nice to see one of the bigger ones on its own. So this one here is, so LCL is the Lazarus City Library. So this one is actually a library that was inspired by a real life library. Entrance on the north side. You think I know north? You think I know north? I'm guessing it's around the corner here. So yeah, so this is built and inspired by an IRL library. I think it's come out really well. I don't know which city this library is from, but if this is a real life city, they've done it really well, and it's a really cool place to come and visit. Quite a modern looking thing. This is concrete powder. It's quite cool. Ooh. Oh, he's got librarians in here. Yeah. You probably need to spend more time in here, Mr. Nitwit. Ah, yep. So you can see that he also had maps on here. He's got Nyrock's quarterly newsletter, the Horizon newsletter. Don't know what would have been on that one there. Editions of their paintings as well is neat. Oh, I like the roof. That is cool. This is a really neat History of Constantiam, Volume 1, Volume 2. So these are books. So these would have been books that we have on the server. Unfortunately, I have lost a lot of my books through the book dupe fixes or patches. I placed my shulker of books down, unfortunately, and yeah, some of them got deleted. It was sad. Sad times indeed. But yeah, he's got a space here for all the different books. Very neat way. I like these little chairs too, and the tables. And then you've just got this extra layer with more villagers wandering around. The addition of the villagers wandering around, I just think is really neat. I'm glad they came through on the download. Or not download, the world edit. Oh, actually, I suppose he would have added them afterwards. Maybe. I don't know. But, yeah. It's also got the DC up there as well. And then we've got another layer up on top of this. And go up the... Thank you for putting glass here so I can't fall off. I appreciate it. Here we go. More villages, more... So Lazarus City, he would have had a map of the city there. What else do we have over here? And more of the other maps of different areas. Very cool though. Awful lot of bookshelves. Oh, and we've still got more? This place goes on for ever. Yep. And more bookshelves and bits and pieces. Really cool build, Krazy. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. The stairwell is cool. I will be stealing that idea in some of my builds. Just putting the glass there has made going up and down those stairs so much easier without you feeling like you're stuck in a little tube when you're using solid blocks for it. Do I need to go down further? I do need to go down further. We hadn't gone down far enough. Although obviously you can't then take a shortcut and just jump off the side, but still very cool. And again, you can see obviously Lazarus City has its public road system, which is linking all of their builds together. And that's obviously a roundabout in the middle there. Kill. I probably should have gone the other direction. That's okay. That's okay. So let's head on over to here. Now, this build here, again, is more of Krazy's custom trees, but in this case, he has turned it into a treehouse. Now, this one was at Astroki's 2600X trading outpost, the ruins of which you can actually see in a Dr. Zombie video, which I will try and find and link in the description below. But obviously in his video you only saw the ruins of this treehouse. There wasn't an awful lot left to it. There we go, we've got all the different signs here. Established February 2018, Nye, DirtyDawg, Sabertooth, Minehead, which again is Krazy, myself, and Fixnix. So we were all here and we all contributed builds to the place. And this is his monkey house. Oops. It's going to fly up here. So lots of little different levels that are all interconnecting. You can jump from one to another. And this is back in a time when you could actually sit here and AFK. And he was actually AFK fishing here when I was building. So if we looked at this from a perspective, my build was just sort of over there a little bit. So he was sitting here AFK fishing while I was building at my base. At my build, I would go AFK occasionally, and we were all perfectly fine. So totally different times. I wouldn't do that now, this close to spawn on a highway, but the things we did. Very cool build. So now we head on over to here, and these next two builds are from the Unity 2 island, or more sort of aptly named Constantinople. Now this is one of Krazy's houses. He actually built quite a few here, and he based them on a cartoon image illustrating the city of Constantinople in 350 AD and tried to recreate it in a smaller sort of version, or a smaller scale. Quite detailed interiors. He's very good at his interiors, Krazy is. So he also allowed spots for us all to do little builds there. I know that I had added a build there. DirtyDawg had added a build there. Nyrock had added a build. I think Flixnix also did, and I know Petrifabom or Paddy Mount also had a build there as well. Within that little city area, there were many other builders that had added builds to Constantinople as the greater Unity 2 island. But those people, I was more talking about the little city area itself that Krazy had started and marked out for us all to build in. Very cool. This was sort of my first look at someone else using concrete powder and concrete within their builds, and I think he did a really great job of it. So, and over to here this is just a small little area, but this is actually our portal that was at the Unity 2 island. Now you can say it's crazy to have a portal at your base, but given this base was about 1500 blocks from spawn, I don't think the portal was what made it be found and griefed. It's a very cute little portal. I'm glad he's showing it off here. Now, these two builds you have probably seen before if you've seen my Aurora Seas tours, and these are, you see the Aurora Seas banner there, and these are Krazy's outlooks, which enabled him to have a look over the rest of the builds at the Aurora Seas base. So very, very cool. Sorry for that noise you can probably hear in the background. I'm not quite sure. I think it's a motorbike. Very, very cool. So I won't go majorly through them. Love the ceiling design. If you want to see more of Krazy's builds at Aurora Seas, we do have a couple more down the way, but you can also see them in their natural habitat on those tour vids if you want to have a look at them. And this one's again another one of Krazy's custom trees. I think again from Aurora Seas. and this was the boys' tree hut. So no girls allowed. I think there's a sign up here that says no girls allowed. Yeah, girls keep out. Krazy's clubhouse, no girls allowed. Girls stink like flowers. So yeah. This is the yellow submarine that Krazy had built at Aurora Seas, and I was lucky enough to have this as my view from my underwater base. Unfortunately, he didn't get to finish this. He had wanted to do much more with the interior, but obviously Aurora Seas got found, so we abandoned the base and he never got to complete it. He was also waiting on 1.13 to be able to make an octopus and coral garden around the outside of it to make it all fancy. But a very cool build, and I'll just quickly go around the outside of it just to sort of show it off a bit. You can see it in more details and again in its natural habitat in my Aurora Seas tour videos. There's a few of them because I took quite the time to go through all the builds. So this one here is an ice fantasy tower. Now this one here, interestingly, has been recently found by somebody. This was just a random little ice fantasy build that Krazy built in the middle of an ice spikes biome. It's got a little bits and pieces in here. Obviously nothing in the chest because it's come through. You got up to the tower by coming through this little bit of a waterway. Get off on the different levels as you wanted to, which I think is quite a neat little idea. The beacon in the middle just makes it a little bit interesting as you come through. So this is all sort of, wasn't designed as a proper base of operations or anything. It is really just a little spot for people to be able to come and visit it, and had an e-chest and chest up the top. So I think it's a very, very cool build. I like it. So the next few builds are from the Halloween Town 2018. Now these have been shown off in videos before, but not one of mine. I am yet to do a video on the Halloween 2018. May do that over the next couple of weeks just to show off the rest of the builds that were there. I'm just going to switch to nighttime. Where am I? Time set night. Just because I just want to show it off a little bit, and let's see whether or not this works, whether or not we can move. You can see it a little bit more at night, a little bit more of the flashing lights that were going on, just to sort of make it a little bit more spooky. Also, while we've got that turned down, what if a sneak peek of some more of the builds? We'll come back to the haunted house, but just so that you can see the ghost of Shaneska. Shaneska was part of the Lazarus City builds before. Earlier, as I said, he's became the ghost of Shaneska because he stopped playing very often. Just get rid of that. Very cool. So again, this was at the Halloween. I took a screenshot. This was at the Halloween 2018 build, and also the three-headed pumpkin wither. Again, looks quite cool at night. And again, you can just sort of see more of this build. The skull with the flaming head really stands out there. Very cool indeed. Now I'm just going to pop the brightness back up so that we can just head on in there and have a quick little look at the inside. Unfortunately, obviously, this build has been griefed. Actually, did I do that properly? Still looks quite dark. I will show this off in another video anyway, and as I said, there is a video out on this. I think Nyrock did a video on this. Little rooms throughout the haunted hotel. I fell down when I first came up on this build in when it was first made. Sorry, this is very, very dark. I actually fell down one of those holes and told Krazy it was like a death trap. And obviously in survival in game, and I took a little bit of damage, but it wasn't too bad. Again, another bit of a hole that you can just sort of fall down into. But I will show this build off another day, and definitely with us being able to see just a little bit more. There we go. So very cool. It's one of the ones that I really like. Anything else that I need to say about this? No, I think that's pretty much it. So now that we've seen those, we're going to head on to a series of builds that are currently at a base sort of themed around circus, theme park, that sort of thing. Krazy's particular builds at this base, and he has built the majority of the builds at this base, they are more focused on a sort of a 1930s style freak show. Now this is just a welcome tent, looks really cute with the little mushroom blocks as the stripe. It's the red stripe, sort of breaks it off from being a solid red. So here's the entrance from this side here. You'll see it's got a little bit of an Aurora Seas flower in the middle of it there, and that is because it is part of the Aurora Seas base mates that contributed to this build, and that's the banner for the island. I think it looks really cool, mixing in with the red and white stripes of the circus feel. So obviously this is inside the circus tent. You got the central area here. You got a tightrope walk across there using end rods, which I thought was really clever. Again, I think the glowstone is a really nice mix amongst this tent. Now he had the idea of being able to tame a ghast and put it into here. Unfortunately, obviously you don't want portals near bases, so he wasn't able to do that. But you know, if it ever gets found or he ever abandons the base, he may do that. But it would have been sort of a take on the line tamer. He would have had a ghast tamer instead. This was our signboard for the Aurora Seas to Aurora E's base mates. So very, very cool. Oops, wrong direction. Constantly going in the wrong direction. So these, again, as I said, this was Krazy was basing his builds on a 1930s style freak show, and this one here is one of the first, beyond the welcome tent, this was one of the first builds that he created on here, and basically he had a novel idea of turning his base mates into circus acts or freak show members. And this is the first one that he did, and it was a twist on the classic bed of nails, but using cactus as the nails. Now he was also wanting to make these functional, so a lot of the builds that we'll see along the way here have got a bit of a function to them other than just being a build, and this one was the Cactus Farm. You can see it is getting cactus there, and as you can see, this one is called Leon the Impenetrable. So the skin design on this one is SirLeonidas, and Leo quite happily was the first victim, or I should say volunteer, to have his skin transformed into one of the attractions at the base. think it's a really cool effect of him lying there on the bed of cactus. You can see that's actually a giant Minecraft bed, if you hadn't spotted that before, with a giant cross tattoo on his chest. Very cool indeed, and a very clever idea. So over here we are heading to look at that mouth. How clever is that? So here we have, featuring one of our stars of the show, is Gypsy James. So Gypsy James is based on JamesRustles' skin, and is also based on I suppose it's a Minecraft version of Zoltar, which is from the movie Big, starring Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks is one of Krazy's favourite actors, so quite an apt build for him to build. Got the big red button there. I just think it's really, really amazing. That mouth opening and closing is mesmerising. So we can head on over here and we can press the button to receive a fortune from Gypsy James. So we do that, and did I get it? Oh, there we go. Your fortune. Gypsy James speaks. You will meet the woman of your dreams. You will marry soon after. Not to her. You settle, she marries the man of her dreams. They have beautiful children and a large house. You do okay. You're not exactly happy with your kids, and your kids are mediocre. Your wife drinks too much and binge watches Netflix, and you find how disappointing the last season of Lost was. You die 7 years before life expectancy with a high cholesterol, and your wife remarries, and they are very happy. Retired in Tuscan, where they sail board together in the weekends. Your lucky number is 13. Oh, that's such a great fortune. Yeah. But also the functionality of this area is also having a enchanting area. And yeah, anvils and bits and pieces. So yeah. There are the various few books that he wrote, and are fortunes inside of Gypsy James. Very, very cool. Let me just get that out of my hand, because it will eventually annoy me, because I will keep clicking on it. But a very, very cool build. So over here we have a Ferris wheel that is being supported by two strongmen, and these two strongmen are DirtyDawg and Gibous. I think it is a very cool idea. Now, the functionality part of this for this build was supposed to be a furnace array, but Krazy hasn't quite gotten around to that part of it, so I can't show it off. He also wanted to do the dumbbells that were slightly different to this, with the numbers on them and everything, but it was becoming quite complicated, so he decided on this. But actually, you know, I actually think it's a really good idea to have the rounded dumbbells on there. They're supporting the cogged style Ferris wheel. I just think it really adds to it all, and it blends in really well. I love all the little carriages. They're super cute. Another really great idea. Oops, we're getting up close and personal. But a very cool idea. Now here we're heading over to Deddryk inside of a dunk tank, but it's also Houdini's dunk tank. So it's also sort of his water escape style area. This is where obviously he would get padlocked up, and then he would need to try and escape. A bit hard to see him through the water. This is also a bit of a game as well, in that you can take an arrow and bow, so some arrows, and you can try and hit, so shoot Houdini's toenails to trigger the dunk tank. And we just need to, oh, so close, not so close, not so close. Now, I think my problem with this is maybe it needs to be reset, or we can come up nice and close. Oh, there we go. You heard it trigger. Maybe that the water wasn't supposed to be in there, and oh no. Have someone standing on here and they get dunked in, maybe? I never had a chance to play with it. Maybe that's what it was. You could have people sitting on here or standing here, oops, and you get dunked in. Just like that. So there we go. You have people sitting in there and then they just get thrown into the water. You get your base mates to stand there and then you shoot the arrows at the toenails. Very cool idea. Again, I'll just get rid of this out of my inventory. Now, over here we have quite a cool build, if I may say so myself. This is a take on the levitating woman trick. Krazy calls it the levitating laughing lady. Obviously a take on my Madam Giggles name. Now, he had to be quite inventive with both BallsyBlockheads and my skins, because all the different variations of colour and hues that we had in like the purples and the reds on our skins. So you can see he's actually used shulker boxes to add an extra sort of variations of the colours, and this side he's used them going sort of sideways. It's actually the bottom of shulker boxes as well. So it's actually really neat way of being able to add all the extra colours to it. Love the way he's done like the little levitating table rug that I am sitting on. Cute little wand with the hoop. I really do love this little build, and I was quite honoured that he did one for me. Now his plan was on the inside here was to build a flower farm, because, you know, it's me and I like flowers and stuff. So he hasn't quite done that yet, so I can't show it off, but that is the plan for it. The cobwebs will be to keep the concrete powder from falling through. A really cool build. I love the little tuxedo on the Daredevil skin. I think that's a really nice addition as well. Very, very cool. So that is the last of the Aurora Ease circus freak show style builds. So now we are going to head over to the last build that we are showing off. And I thank you for your patience to stay right to the very end, whether or not you have just skipped through all the builds or whether or not you have listened to me ramble on throughout all of them. And this is a pretty massive build, and Krazy says that this is one of his favourite builds or his best creations to date, and I've got to agree with him. I just think this is absolutely amazing, and when you see the inside of this build, you're going to be just as blown away. He spent over a month in creative designing this steampunk rocket sphere, and while the exterior was probably quite a small part of that, the interior took him several goes to get it right, with such a large space to build, and also in order to get the redstone right. Yes, because there's some redstone involved in this. Get the redstone right so that it worked within the confines of the build that he had created. So let me show you some of the redstone. So we've got press button once to dispense enough XP to repair one tool. Remove your armor and hold the item you're repairing to maximize use. And I'm going to try and do this so that we can see it happening. But basically you press the button. Oh, there we go. And all the XP is firing out onto the ground. How cool is that? And that is enough XP to repair one of your tools. I'm going to have all the orbs. And each one of these is the same. So we can run around and we can click the buttons all the way around and have all the rockets firing. Kind of needed 4 other people with me to be able to, or 3 other people with me to be able to get them all going at once. Oh, 4. It's kind of cool. Such a clever idea. It's the shooting out of the little rocket below. Very cool. And so you can also see he's got little cranes off to the side picking up pallets and items of things. Got all your gold ores, you got your e-chests, note blocks, bits and pieces. Really cute way of doing things. So let's head on up into the build itself so that we can see what is inside of here. Now I'm not normally a fan of brown concrete, but I think it suits the stop area here. Right here and look over there. Yeah, so I'm not normally a big fan of brown concrete, but I think it kind of works in this style of build. The steampunk rocket is, I think, one place that it just seems to work and is not too overwhelming. So this is the inside. Now there's multiple levels for us to look at while we're inside. This is the sort of the main bulk area. We've got these furnaces all in here, and these are like pressure gauges inside of there, which is quite neat. You've got more pallets of goods around the place, including dragon eggs. This is kind of like a pipe sort of system that's connecting each of these. Very, very cool. And again, more pallets of items and bits and pieces. These neat little portholes off the sides. Now, so let's head on down to engineering, and then we will head up to the top. We go all the way down here. Much darkness. So it was just the first level of where we were. And here we go. So this is down in the engineering level with lots more details. This is sort of where it headed on down to the little rocket areas, and this is where the redstone is to fire off all the XP. And then engineering stations top and bottom. I think we've got... Now I'm going to get lost inside of his build. So this is the bottom. I think there's another level. Did I miss it? Did we zoom past it? Oh no, this is what I wanted to see. So inside of here we've got the engineer's office. So we can head on. Oh, we have light. So we can head on down into here. And we've got their little cozy room with their little bunk beds. It's quite a neat little addition. Oh. Ah, we could have... Oh, no, this is a different area again. It's like a little bit of a loading deck for the pallets coming in. That's cool. I didn't spot that earlier when I had a look at this build. That is super clever. Ah, chests inside of there. Bit of a hidden area. That is cool. And I think we have another room on the side over here, which is the science officer's room. Ooh, fancy. It's like the crane operation. Let's head on down into here. I've got the blue beds. And there's more down here too. They've got the valuables on this side. Very cool. And again, you can see this sort of cranes hauling the stuff up, and it obviously matches whatever's being hauled up as to what's in here. That's very clever, Krazy. Love, love, love it. Now we do have just a little bit more to show off on the inside here, and that's up the top. So let's head on back up the ladder. We're going to head on up to the bridge. There we go. That's the level we were already in, so it's storage level 2. And here we are up on the bridge. All the gears and gadgets that you need in order to run this steampunk rocket style ship. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. So many levers to play around with. You could be in here all day in order to do it that. And here is the captain's chair in order to get all the workers to run the ship. So I've got to say that this is just an amazing, amazing build. The redstone additions in it are just super neat. Love the little XP droppers down below. In fact, all of Krazy's builds are just amazing. I'm always blown away whenever I see any of his builds, and I'm really happy that he came up with this way of me being able to show off his builds without having to worry about them being terrain exploited. Now, for anybody out there who's a hater and going, but these builds aren't on Constantiam, it's not really a Constantiam tour, prove that they're on Constantiam, stuff like that. All I can say is I've seen the majority of these builds at the bases where they were, so I know they were on Constantiam. I have faith that Krazy has built all of these because they are they're his style, and I truly believe that they are all 100% on Constantiam. I've seen snippets of these builds in screenshots before, for those that I haven't seen in person myself. So, and I know his base mates who have also confirmed that these are here. So they're there. Hate away. Either way, we got to see some absolutely brilliant and amazing builds by an absolute genius of a builder. And Krazy, all I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much for letting me see these builds and show them off as a showcase for you. Again, everyone, I know this was a super, super long episode, but these builds are worth it. Until the next time, you have a great day.